Hey, welcome to another edition of the AK Option Trader. I hope you guys had a good week. I mean, not so much. It was a little too volatile for my taste in having to be at work and not being able to watch it as close as I want. It kind of beat me up a little bit there, but still in it. Still in it to win it. See what we can come up with this week. I really feel like some consolidation is coming. I feel like we're near the top of some of these moves. And the key is if we're going to break out to some new highs to see where we're at. So let's jump in it and see what we got here. Let's start with the old VIX. You can see the VIX here blew right through some support I had on that chart there. I was kind of playing in this channel here I had. You can see I put the 50% line as a support line there, and it worked really well. Well, it kind of toyed around the bottom of this quite a bit, moved up, hit its head on this downtrend line 1, 2, 3 times before knocking itself out, coming down, broke through my old support line, and now it's formed a new uptrend line. Now, if this line breaks, we are clearly in a down move on the VIX. If this holds, we are in a wedge. So if it bounces off of this, we've got some kind of wedge pattern forming here, and this thing can go either way. It's not got a real clear sign of directions. I mean, if you look at it here, it's been just up and down, up and down. So real volatile, not a real clear sign. I'm really interested to see if this holds or not. So that's going to be the key for me. If this breaks, I'm thinking the market goes up. You know, it might break and retrace back up to the top of it. If this holds, I'm thinking we're going to see a little bit of a bounce in the VIX, therefore the market going down. All right, so I'm starting there. Let's go into the Dow. Here's the Dow. And this is some marks I had on here on Friday's or Thursday's blog. I went back looking and seeing what was going on here. And I noticed when you had these 3 up days, what's called a deliberation, very close to a deliberation pattern, it was usually followed by a pretty decent down move. This one kind of had a mini rally and then went back down here. This you can see we had a lot of up days, a little down move on it. So it's been very bullish, very bullish. And then right here, we've got this. You got a lot of indecision. If you look here, if you look in this down move, it's pretty straight down, very little indecision. You look up here, you got a little blip, and then it's starting to get a little weird here. I'll give you a close-up what I mean. I think we're seeing some consolidation going on here. So let's go to a 60-day. You can see how smooth it is here on this down move, very little blip. Look at this here. Look at the volatility we're seeing coming into now. You can see we're sitting on some support right here. This could offer support going up. We could retrace back to this uptrend line, drop back down here. If this holds, then we know we're in an uptrend heading on up. Some key numbers on here. Let's pop this back out to a 1 year. Some key numbers here on the Dow. We got to make a new high. All right, if we're going to make a higher high, it's going to be in the 8250 area, somewhere in there. We broke Dow 8000, which I thought was key. This could end up being really strong support here, so keep an eye on that. All right, but these last 2 candles show a lot of indecision. Look at them. I mean, you got a huge top wick and a huge bottom wick. I mean, it's really messed up. We had real low volume here, on the last day, so which would have been Friday. Let's jump into the NASDAQ now. We're above support. We did make a higher high. All right, so this is here's your high. Here's a lower high, down. Now we've made a higher high. All right, we have not made a lower low. This is a lower low than this one. We have not made a lower low. We're going to have to make a higher low now. Was what we're going to be looking for. But we've got definite support right here. We blew through it again. You got a huge top wick and a huge bottom tail. So a little bit of indecision. We got a big gap to fill here now. So that's something to watch out for. We blew through this wedge we were forming in 4 or 5 day wedge. Blew through that thing. If this hadn't been here, it would have been definite bullish flag type look. So keep an eye on that. We could be forming an inverse head and shoulders here, coming up here, come back down in this area, and come back up. If we do, if this offers the support, we're going to be looking for an up move here. I know, I hate to say it, but that's true. All right, so the S&P. I'm going to jump into the S&P now. Same type of thing. I left the fibs on here because they were tracking so good with this stock. You can see we hit our head right on this fib, the 841 fib. It's the 61.8. Coincidentally, this fib here, the 61.8, this is the 50, 61.8, coincides with making a new high, a higher high off of this move right here, which really, I don't know if you can count that as high. This would be much stronger up here. This high. I guess you could count this as a high. And then if we stall out here, then we're making a lower high come down. I would expect us to make a lower low. So if we drop from here, I would expect to make a lower low. If we rally from here, I'd expect to make a higher low, somewhere in here probably, the 750 area. So you can still see we are still clearly overbought on these, clearly overbought, and I really thought we were going to come to a down move right here. So I was surprised to see the strength there today. But again, you got to do what you're going to do. The market's going to do what it wants to do. All right, so let's jump into some stocks today. Here's a put play I'm in, which I should have been out of, but I held it just because I got out of my stop, which you're not supposed to do, and I did it. I'm going to turn these studies off just to show you what I'm looking at here. Look at the consolidation. Look at it just has no clue what it wants to do. I mean, it's just banging its head around, banging its head around. You got a beautiful gap. This is DRI, by the way, if you can't see it. Beautiful gap here. It had its earnings, popped up on the earnings there. Look what happened last time. Here's the earnings. What did it do? Pop up for about 11 days, and then boom, sold off. That's what I'm looking for here. It's been 13 days, and it's just hanging there. I thought for sure by now it would be breaking out of this wedge and down. So I'm going to hold it a couple more days. If it does pop out of here, then I'm toast. I got to get out of here at the top of this gray square. And it's going to be a pretty significant loss because I held it longer than I should have. But I don't know. I just have this weird feeling about this thing filling this gap. Historically, it does it. It's got a nice trend line. It's drawn it, a magnetic trend line drawn to it. It's got a nice downtrend forming right here now. So I'm just going to keep an eye on it. Yeah, I'm breaking one of my rules by moving my stop on it, but the chart just looks so good I did it. Here's that up play. I'm going to show you some of the ones I put on the blog this week. This is one of the up played ones. This is getting close to where I'd be thinking about getting into it, perhaps looking for it to touch around this trend line here. Even this area is not bad. It held up, the support held up nicely. Might not be a bad one to try to get a little up move action in this one, so keep an eye on it. It looks like it's got a pretty strong ceiling right here. It's going to take us some major volume to break through this thing. So 1891. So it's not a huge up move, but you might be able to get a little bit of play in it. I'd be careful once I reach that area here. MXIM is the symbol here. Same type of thing. You can see it's already pulled back and drawn. I'm going off the candle bodies here. It's fallen back into its uptrend line. It wanted to get beneath it, came back up above it. So we could possibly see this rally with this. This is a pretty steep trend line, so be cautious with these. I mean, this is one I wouldn't move my stops on. I don't feel super strong on it, but it's one that could possibly move up good with the market if the market moves up. So this one here is Shield, Sears Holding. Same type of thing here. So Sears Holding is I put all the things back on it here. You can see it is a little bit overbought, but this is one I've talked about before. If it closes above 50.80, it is bullish. Well, look at it. It's 54.69. So it closed above 50. It closed right at 50. What was this day here? Closed at I'm having a hard time reading this one. So it was a high of 52.40. It closed at 52.13 that day, and look at it, boom, ran on up. So this is going to offer huge support here now. This trend line is going to help. It could go up and come back down into here and just keep going up this trend line. So keep an eye on that one. Here's one I put on the blog also, WMT. Everybody knows is Walmart. Let's take these off here. Look at this bad boy here. 55, I'm going to short is what I called it. So man, it was close, and I probably should have did it right here, but I had my alert in at 55. I said once this hits 55, I'm shorting it. So I figured it'd pop up a bit. This would have probably been a real good opportunity to short it. 54.50, it'd be down almost $1 already. But I'm going to wait and see if it pops back up here one more time. And if so, I might be looking to short this one. So that's Walmart. HPQ, Hewlett Packard. Same type of deal. You got a nice gap. This thing has been gapping up, gapping up, gapping up. This could be an exhaustion gap here. You got two really long top wicks, which means the bulls have been beaten down both times they've tried to rally this thing past 35. Just ain't happening. I'm looking for it to fall back down before it comes back up again. If we throw the studies in, you can see here clearly overbought. Everything's high. Be looking for it. It's touching top Bollinger Band. I'd be looking for this thing to turn back down, maybe down in this area before rallying again. So keep an eye on that one. HPQ. None of them are ready right now to jump into, but it depends on what happens Monday. And finally, let's finish with blood. This was the title of one of my blogs last week. I think it was Thursday blog. This is forming, to me, it looks like a head and shoulders going on here. Enough shoulder, base, neckline there, coming up. Not super clean. Comes up, forms a nice head, back down, and then you've got a second shoulder, lower shoulder forming right here, which is very bearish. So keep an eye on this. This might be a nice play down to here. Then I'd expect it to consolidate, which is about the 20-50 area, somewhere in there. Expect it to move around here, maybe bounce up a little and then drop. So this might be one to play for quite a while. Maybe if you buy a couple months time on it, if you're trading options, it'd be